Hi guys, good morning. Welcome to another episode of Clangin and Bangin with Mikey, episode 127. And today we're gonna talk about something that's been on my mind the last couple of weeks. Well, I mean, one of the many issues, right? So what we're gonna talk about today is sexual intercourse with people who have cerebral palsy. And as you guys know, this is what this whole podcast is about. I'm a dude who's a competitive bodybuilder who produces music, who talks about other, arenas that affect me, right? Or that I find, interesting, whatever it is. It's funny. A lot of people look at me and they see the disability first. Uh, they don't see the person behind the disability. It's like the Wizard of Oz, right? And it's yeah, like y'all ever seen that? Where the whole time it's being controlled, by somebody behind a curtain. That's what I kind of describe this disability to be. A lot of people will see what's going on in front of them. They see the walk, they see the stutter, they see the slurring of the words, that type of shit, right? Um, they see all that shit. What they don't see is the confidence, is the swagger, the self assurance, you know. But what they feel is my energy when I walk into a room. The people that I attract, the people that gravitate towards me. That's what they feel, right? So, not to brag or nothing, but I've had my fair share of situations. I'm gonna just leave it at that. And sometimes, I get a little anxiety. And I remember this one girl. She was like, "Oh," she's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I was like, I'm just nervous. I get anxious, I get nervous, like everybody else, and she thought it was just because of the disability, and I'm like, nah, it's because um whether it was a long work day or just tired in general, because it's like when I'm tired, it's like even if I wanted to happen, it's extremely hard for it to happen. Well, not hard. I just you know, I just don't, because bro, sex is work. Um, that's a good, depending how long you last, anywhere between 10 minutes to 40 minutes. So that's a lot of work. Or some guys last longer. Like how long as I ever lasted was 40 minutes, and it's like that shit was just. I was wiped out after that. She looking at me like, "You ready for round two?" I'm like, we going let me go get a sandwich. Let me go get a Gatorade or something, right? Because yeah, like I said, sex is work. And with me, I had to realize that, hey, as much as I love it, there's certain things I got to do to get ready for that, man. It's like whether it's flexing out my hips, or or the one thing that puts me into the mood is playing music, man. Like certain slow songs, everybody had that playlist back in the day, right? Or am I the only brother who had a playlist back in the day that was it was on my iPod. It was on my iPod, and I think it was like labeled uh in between the sheets music or some shit like that, right? So and I wasn't as confident back then as I am now. It's taken me years to get to this level of being confident. And when I say that, is because I would always be thinking too much. And there was a lot of girls, believe it or not, who were interested in me simply because of how I look. I mean, I was never, I was never in shape or nothing, but I wasn't fat or anything like that, but I was just like, I know I played sports a little bit, played some hoop, that's about it. Played some soccer, that shit like that. But when it came time to actually have a conversation with a woman, I didn't, when I was in high school, I didn't really know how to do that. And when I got to college, I got exposed to a lot of different shit. and and what worked for me is basically like just being myself, man. Just cracking jokes, being funny, um, and yeah, and it was funny because I've always had girls tell me like, "Yo, how come I can't meet a guy like you? What you mean? You want to meet a guy with like guy who has cerebral palsy? What you talking about?" And me knowing damn well what they talking about, right? You know, it's like, that was just me being funny. I was like, "Yo, yeah." Um, so with that being said, that that article that I read when they talked about sex and CP, like a lot of people think that people with cerebral palsy can't get it up. Well, yes, the fuck we can. But this with me it's a little different because if I'm with somebody, um, um, it all depends on the individual, but I'm more of a dude that's like I gotta have that emotional connection with you because if it's just purely physical, it's like of course I'm gonna do it, but it's not gonna be the best that it could be, um, and I think some people when they meet me and when they pursue me in that particular arena in that sexual way, uh, I can become a lot, and my thing is like once we recognize any energy that we give into each other, I'm gonna keep it at that, and I'm gonna keep it that way because that's how you presented yourself and that's how we're gonna rock with it, right? So it's really hard for me to change up and treat you differently. Let's just use this for example. Um, we have a casual hookup. Everything's going good or whatever. The conversation's going all right. But the person wants something more, and I can't give that to you because let's say let's just say she wants a relationship, right? And I can't give it to you because, ma, if you wanted a relationship out of this, you should have came correct the first time. I mean, not to say that we can't have one, but I don't really want one with somebody who I didn't have to do anything to go get it. Probably a record for me is like within a week. Um, yeah, it was a week, and we went from talking to jumping in my sheets. Um, and that's how it was. And it's really difficult for me to treat somebody else with not with respect because I always was respectful to people. I just gave out the same energy that people gave back, and in this one particular instance, this individual caught feelings, and I guess she wanted more than what it was, and I'm like, I can't give that to you because if you wanted a relationship, everything that I was trying to do with you, um, in terms of relationship type of shit, you wasn't feeling that. And I remember once this individual said, "Well, that's not what a friends with benefits does." Yeah, cause I'm like, yo, I'm like, yo, like, let me cook for you, let me do X, Y, and Z, boom, 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 boom. Cause it's like, yo, I'm like, you already comfortable with me enough to do this shit, right? And it's like, bet, you know. And my thing, but if all we have to go off is a physical and there's no other connection, it's really difficult for me to for me to treat you that way because physically all we're doing is just having sex, right? And and yeah, and some people just be like that, man. Like, it's like they want one thing, and then when they meet the whole package, because I'm an Amazon package where you gotta open up and you gotta see like, oh damn it, there's. I'm like a care package, dog. It's like niggas open me up and it's like, oh, females open me up and they're like, I'm like, yeah, brother got this, he got that, he got. Well, he definitely got that. You know what I mean? Like, there's a smorgasbord of shit in there. So and and so with that being said, yeah, it was interesting because Um, um, yeah, when people meet me and then they get to know me, and then they realize like, oh damn, there's more to you than this. Yeah, yeah, there's a lot more to me than what you physically see. um, and it's cool, but you know, I want something more. You know, I mean, the physical is great. Um, Getting laid is great. And doing the act is great. But for me, it's like I want somebody who I can talk to about my day. Who I want to, you know, vent to when shit ain't going right. Who I want to do all that shit right. Plus, who I want to smash too. You know. Um, I'm not trying to have no night crawlers anymore. Anybody who doesn't know what a night crawler is, man, a night crawler is when you call somebody over and they don't stay the night. They come in the night and they leave in the night. That's what it is. And so yeah. With that being said, man, I'm the type of dude, bro. Like I'm trying to figure out what you like for breakfast, so that way when you sleep over next morning, you got breakfast made for you. You know, whether it's eggs, bacon, and rice, waffles, pancakes, it don't matter. I'm trying to figure out all that shit. Like, let me get up early on a Sunday morning and go cook you breakfast. You know, so by the time you get up, there's breakfast on this. There's breakfast ready for you. You know, I'm trying to figure out if you like orange juice, coffee, water with your breakfast, whatever it is. So when you get up, everything's ready to go. Um, and yeah, man, like, and I just want to talk to somebody about my day. You know, without it being without it being blown up. You know, it's like yo, because as men, and not just black men, but just men in general, we got to vent too because there's shit that we go through every day that's just like, God damn, these motherfuckers ain't getting it right. So for me, there's much more that goes into a situation, you know, than just the physical. Because like I said, the physical is great. The physical is gravy. But it's not just that. It's the fact that it's the fact that there's more to a relationship than just jumping into one or jumping into somebody's sheets. I was on Twitter the other day, and this one cat said, he's like, a lot of y'all relationships don't work out because y'all skip the friendship part, and it's true. A lot of people will sit there and be like, oh, well, I like you, this and this and that. I bet get to know me, be a friend with me first. You know, you may not be interested in what I'm doing 24/7. You know, but at least know what I'm doing, or and vice versa. It's like I said, I'm trying to figure out what what brings you happiness and everything like that too. You know, and what brings you joy and peace and whatever it is. You know, I may not understand it, but I'm gonna make an attempt to because if you're important to me, that's what it is, right? And I think a lot of people don't take the time to do that. They just see somebody who's attractive on a physical level and they rock with that. Um, and I've also talked to girls who, when I meet them, you know, they're mentally beaten, emotionally just distraught, you know, because they've been through so much shit and and been through so much trauma that they don't know how to trust anybody else. And so when they meet me, they like, okay, is this cat the same type of cat that I'm used to dealing with? And I'm not. I'm the type where I slowly chip away at that wall. And no matter how long it takes me, um, I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep slowly chipping away, and I'm gonna keep, keep it positive because that's just who I am. And when that happens, a lot of the times these women get scared. I'm like, yo, I'm not going anywhere. So however long it takes you, to understand your feelings and understand your emotions, that's how long it's gonna take. Because I'm not going anywhere. You know, I'm not disappearing. I'm not doing X, Y, and Z. I'm here, and I'm gonna be here for as long as you want me to. And I think that scares a lot of women off because they're like, oh well, that's what the last guy said. Baby, I'm not him. I am not him. You know, you know, I'm the dude who's gonna sit there and ask you two things before we have a conversation. Do you want solutions or do you want comfort? See, that's a part of my package, dog. My package. I feel like I'm pitching myself. And what I say when I said do you want solutions or comfort? When I say that is like, do you want my opinion on the situation? Or do you just want to sit on the couch and just vent to me about your day? Vent to me what's going on with you. Talk to me what's going on with you. I'd much rather sit there and just listen to you talk, baby. It's like, you can have your little pint of ice cream, whatever it is. I'm gonna sit there with my hoodie, my rag on, and I'm gonna listen. Cause to me, that's sexy. For you to open up that way and to tell me about shit that really bothered you, that creates another connection on a deeper level. You know, and don't get me wrong. It's like, I mean, there's other things that arouse me too, but having that mental connection, yeah. And a lot of women that I've run into, man, they got trust issues too. So that's another obstacle that we have to overcome too. Fellas, we gotta stop messing over these girls. We gotta stop doing this shit because the more and more we do it, the harder it is for other guys when the relationship does end to come in and treat these girls right. The harder it is for guys who have good intentions, who have pure intentions, it is to prove that they're worth it. Because it's like, if you're dealing with somebody who's constantly told you, oh, oh, like, you ain't this, you ain't that, or you're too loud, all you do is start arguments, boom, 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 boom. And granted, there are women out there who do that, who will make a situation about themselves, and who will flip it to make you look like the bad dude, and all you're doing is venting how you feel, But ironically, it goes from how you feel to basically how they feel about a situation, and it's like, yo, it's like it's not even about your ass. Like, what are you talking about, right? And and at the end of the day, man, that's what it is, bro. A lot of people, man, they just uh they have a lot of trust issues because and guys too. We'll never talk about this, but there have been girls out there who've broken our heart that we've never gotten over. Hmm? And there's nothing that when that shit happens to us, when we get our heart broken, it's really, really bad. I mean, I can only speak for myself, but it's really, really bad because you end up walking around thinking like, damn, I gave my all to this situation. It wasn't enough. And instead of this individual telling me, that that she wasn't feeling me, she decided not to say nothing and just leave me on. And that's a tricky situation because it's like, when the other individual's feeling you and when they're not. And it's like, I think a lot of us, man, like we want shit to work so bad, that it just doesn't work. And like the more and more you try to force something, it just doesn't do anything, right? It doesn't give you the results that you want. Because a lot of the times, man, people ain't ready. Um, it's like that saying, you can be the right Amazon package, but at the wrong house, you know. And I was rambling on for about 20 minutes or so. This is 20 minutes of life that you won't get back. Hope y'all keeping the 4 P's, private player, positive pushing. I'll see y'all next week. Ghost. By the way, Denver's gonna win the championship.